Earning the OSHA 511 credential marks the technical boundary between following safety signs and managing the entire regulatory framework of an industrial facility. While the OSHA 30 course focuses on hazard awareness for the workforce, the 511 is an academic deep dive into federal law. It serves as the mandatory prerequisite for the trainer course, effectively controlling who is authorized to teach safety standards across the country. Completing the 511 establishes the regulatory literacy required to oversee department-wide compliance audits and manage the liability risks associated with large-scale industrial operations. Safety professionals operate in two separate legal universes: 1926 construction codes and 1910 general industry standards. 1926 applies during active building phases, like erecting steel or scaffolding. Once a structure is finished and occupied for production or warehousing, it transitions to 1910 general industry compliance. Correctly identifying the environment is the first step in auditing, as misapplying codes can lead to immediate citation failures during a federal inspection. Subpart D, which covers walking working surfaces, contains one of the most frequently tested compliance requirements in the 511 curriculum. While construction workers are often protected at a 6-foot height, the general industry standards mandate fall protection at a 4-foot threshold. This 2-foot difference is a critical distinction for anyone managing a permanent manufacturing floor. In Subpart J, we find the regulations for the control of hazardous energy, or Lockout Tagout. This remains the single most frequently cited standard in manufacturing environments. The 511 exam requires a precise understanding of the first 3 steps of the lockout sequence: preparation for shutdown, the actual halting of the machine, and the physical isolation of the equipment from its energy source. To complete the process legally, the sequence must proceed through the application of locks and tags, the release of stored energy, and a final verification that the equipment is truly inoperative. Deviating from this exact order is a primary cause of accidental amputations in the field and results in an automatic failure on the certification exam. Subpart S deals with electrical power, distinguishing between qualified personnel, those trained to interact with live circuits, and unqualified workers who must be kept at a distance. Regulatory spatial requirements are absolute. You are required to maintain a 36-inch clearance in front of all electrical panels to ensure that circuit breakers remain accessible during an emergency. In Subpart I, the focus shifts to personal protective equipment. OSHA regulations specify that simply providing gear is not sufficient for compliance. Employers must provide a written hazard assessment. This document must analyze the specific physical and chemical risks of each task to justify the selection of specific safety glasses, gloves, or respirators. Documentation of this assessment is what an inspector verifies to determine if a facility's safety program is based on technical analysis rather than guesswork. The OSHA 511 exam is an open book test, but the density of the 29 CFR 1910 manual makes it a challenge of speed rather than memory. Tactical preparation involves physically tabbing the manual. Professionals prioritize subparts D, I, and S, along with the main index, to navigate the text quickly under the pressure of a timer. Efficiency in finding these codes is also a field skill, particularly when auditing subparts E and L for exit routes and fire protection. An inspector finding a chained emergency exit can issue a willful violation. Because this indicates an intentional disregard for life safety, the resulting fines often reach 6 figures. To avoid these penalties, you must apply the specific metrics of the Life Safety Code, which regulates the count of emergency exits and the maximum allowable travel distance for every worker in the building. Navigating these codes with speed allows you to calculate life safety requirements in the field and provides the accuracy needed to pass the final certification exam. Mastering the 1910 standards allows a safety professional to identify and correct regulatory gaps before they appear on a federal citation. This expertise directly impacts the bottom line by preventing the significant financial penalties of willful violations and by reducing the incident rates that drive up insurance costs. The OSHA 511 provides the documented technical expertise required to manage safety programs and authorize official worker training at an industrial scale. Subscribe for more breakdowns of professional safety standards.